This is grief making decisions. Maybe you don't trust your own judgment anymore. Your spouse used to handle the money. Your husband drove everywhere. The wife planned the vacations. Your mother was the person who called. Now every decision feels bigger than it used to be. You have spent 3 hours deciding whether to replace the washing machine. Just thinking about it, you know the washing machine's not working, but you can put that screwdriver in there and turn it and it still works. You got the money, but the thought about one making the decision and then going to pick out one is so overwhelming you can't do it. You're not incapable, but because the person who used to check the washing machine, who used to help you make the decisions, who went to Sears Roebucks with you, is no longer there. Because underneath that decision, subconsciously, there is a thought. What if I get this wrong? That's grief. That is grief. And maybe it sounds something like this. Why am I so undecisive? Why can't I just make up my mind? Because sometimes you're not only choosing a washing machine, you're confronting the fact that now you have to make a decision in your life where the person with you used to make that decision. And that person is now dead. And now you have to get rid of the washing machine that you guys used together for the last 13 years. Girl and sir, this is a much bigger decision emotionally than you thought. You know that house is too big. You know the house is too big for you. And it's not that you don't want to move. Of course, you don't want to pack up all the stuff because I don't want to do that either. But it feels like leaving means that you're abandoning the memories. You're leaving them behind. This is the last 4 walls that where we were together. His room is here. Our room together is here. So you know what you do? You stay. And you keep turning the screwdriver on that washing machine because that's easier. Everything in the house reminds you that they're gone. But leaving feels impossible too. You are stuck between, I can't even live here, and how can I possibly leave? You are stuck right there. Your grief is making the decisions. Maybe you do want companionship. And the second you even think about another relationship, guilt walks in. What would people think? Oh my gosh, what would my kids think? What would he think? What will she think? Does it mean that my relationship didn't matter? Does it mean that my marriage didn't matter? Am I replacing him? And before you even have a chance to decide what you want, grief has already said, nope, we're not doing that. And that's why I keep saying this work isn't about just missing your person. We have to look at what grief is doing to the life that remains. Because here's a hard truth. The person you love died once, but grief can continue to take things from you. A dinner, a friendship, a holiday, a trip, a relationship, a dream, a job opportunity, a year, 5 years, 10 years. Nobody wakes up one morning and says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give grief the next 10 years of my life. He's died, and I'm going to give everything I have. I'm going to let grief make all the decisions and decide everything for me. Nobody chooses that. It happens a little bit at a time. It happens one moment at a time. It happens one decision at a time. And maybe that's not today. And maybe it's not next month. But next year, you're going to go back and say, oh my gosh, she was right. Maybe next month, you're going to be like, I'm not ready. I can't. It would be too hard. People won't understand. I don't wanna cry. I don't want them to think I'm okay because then they're gonna start judging whether I really love them or not. Okay, I'm gonna do it next year. Like, it's already August, so I'm gonna do it next year. Then I don't know when you look up and you realize I have been built an entire life around avoiding this grief. I haven't even touched the grief.